All units, please respond. We got a 7467. Two idiots spilling the tea about their neighbors.
Welcome to episode 144.
The credibility coach. There goes the neighborhood. Hey, ambitious bougie crew and unmotivated CRN trolls. Shout out to our bougie crew in Virginia and Arizona for coming in hot with the downloads this week.
Absolutely. So, got a question, a comment, a crazy rich neighbor story? Hit us up. Leave us a voicemail at 239-300-7276.
And be sure to check out our full episodes on YouTube, you guys. Make sure smash that subscribe button and leave your girls a fun comment and a thumbs up, okay?
No more shade.
I know.
Today we have an extraordinary guest. He's a master of making an impact, a global credibility expert, a two-time TEDx speaker with one of the most popular talks in 2021. He's also the author of over 60 books.
Wow. He coaches the best and learns from the best as a certified stakeholder-centered coach with Marshall Goldsmith's 100 Coaches. So buckle up, you guys, as we dive into the world of credibility, innovation, and success with none other than the incredible Mitchell Levy.
Welcome, Mitchell.
It's great to be here. Thanks for the intro.
Did you like that?
Yeah, you guys.
It was spot on.
You guys have way too much fun, which is good.
Well, we hope you will too.
Yes.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the next time I'm potentially in Boca Raton and I might see you in person.
Okay.
Oh, well, we'll do this in person then. Let us know.
We love that.
Yes.
So let's dive right in, because just a little bit we've already spoken to you about. We are very curious and excited for today's topic. What does credibility mean to you?
Credibility is the quality in which we are trusted, known, and liked. So you know the phrase "know, like, trust." I'm just motivating it and doing it in a different way. And that's when people get to see you, how quickly can they trust that you're going to do what you do? As they get to know you, do you reinforce that? And do they like you? Do they want to play with you?
And is that the same as, so is credibility the same as reputation?
Not exactly. Reputation is part of as people get to know you, you're building the reputation. But the first thing and potentially trust. But trust is if you say, hey, I'm a designer, or for me, credibility expert, or web designer, social media expert, whatever it is that you do, the first thing is can somebody have the trust that you can do what you do? So if you're a web designer and your web page sucks, guess what? You've lost some of the trust. You may not get past that. Probably the best way I'll think about this, if you get to somebody's website, you give them maybe 5-6 seconds to go, hey, should I go on? Get to know them. What you're really doing is saying, do I trust this website? Should I continue to spend more energy? Next thing you do is as you get to know the vendor or the company, they're building on the trust and they're building on the like. Would it be fun to work with them? And so reputation is a part of it, but trust, no like is significantly more valuable in terms of thinking about how you decide if you want to do business with somebody else.
Got it. So how do you build credibility?
You know, it's not as easy as you pay somebody to build it. A lot of people think that's the case. It's something that happens over time. It's building on relationships and reinforcing consistently who you are both online and offline, right? So if somebody says they do something when you're talking to them, but then you go to their website and it's completely something else, there's a concept I have called crud. Crud are those things that happen that get in the way of you building credibility. So it's eliminating the crud. It's having clarity on who you are, and it's showing up as a good human.
So how do you repair it once it's damaged?
Funny, I did an entire segment on this. Because a lot of people say, hey, listen, it takes a lifetime to build credibility. You could lose it overnight. And the answer is, yeah, there are some things that you can't come back from. On the other hand, in today's world, what we want to see is kind of what you guys are doing with the story. We actually want to see the human. We want to see the person. So how do you it depends on how you've lost credibility, but a lot of times it's fessing up to the mistake or the issue you made, addressing it once, and then moving forward and basically then saying, hey, listen, we're not going to do this again. And then moving forward in a way where you're consistently demonstrating that you're the opposite of the person who's lost credibility. Does that make sense?
Yep.
It does.
So, what are some common misperceptions about building and maintaining credibility?
Probably the biggest one is, and we see it every day on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, some person coming to you and saying, hey, give me 5, 10, $15,000 and I'll make you credible. Doesn't happen that way. You can't actually now having money gives you the opportunity to do more things, to put yourself out there so more people can trust you, know you, and like you. But you can't just pay for credibility. It is, I don't know, probably the thing is, you ever, there we go. When's the last time either of you went to a shoe store and bought shoes?
It's a good question.
Not years.
I don't
Ah,
remember.
how about something where you were in person with somebody and you just you walked into the store and you had somebody who was just really good and you felt comfortable with them as a salesperson?
Yep.
You got a good example?
I mean, it's happened. Let's see. Like when I've gone to buy BMWs at our local BMW dealership, they're always like, they know so much about these cars, and it's always been a very good, albeit lengthy process, but they're
Oh,
experts.
And you probably trust them.
I do.
Yeah.
now when you walk in the store, so when you walk into your, by the way, the thing that my wife really doesn't like the most is the lengthy process where they're trying to
Ugh.
negotiate. But
Just all the
um,
paperwork. That's the part I hate. There has to be
it's
a better way.
crazy. At some of the online car companies have made it better and easier, but
Hmm.
we'll put that aside. So you go in, and has there ever been a dealer that you or a person who you worked with that you liked more than another?
Heck yeah.
So why is it?
Well, it could be any host of things. Maybe one person is just easier to get along with, or maybe one person is more competent than someone else, or like we worked with a girl, not we meaning me and I, but the ad agency I was at in New York, at one point we worked with a girl, and all she did was say how they used to do things at her former agency.
Oh, that's the worst.
Uh, so what's interesting is as I'm listening to you and trying to extract what you're saying, right? So when you go to a BMW dealer, or anytime I go in and I look at one person versus another, the first thing that I do is I have to say to myself, do I trust that two things, they know about the cars? Obviously they do because they're trained well. But the other thing I'm trying to figure out is, do I trust that they have my best interest at heart versus theirs?
I think you have to assume a car dealer does it.
And you have to assume you don't. However, as you're getting to know your dealer, and think about a realtor as well. As you're getting to know your car dealer or your realtor, and you see that they're presenting you with cars or houses, and they're telling you things that potentially other people won't. Hey, you know what? I love this house. It's on the market, but you may not like it as much but you'll like this other one.
Hmm.
All of a sudden, as you're getting to know them, you're starting to trust them more.
Right. They're
And
authentic.
that's it. If they have the integrity, the intent and commitment to do the right thing, they are authentically giving you honest answers. You're starting, as you get to know them, you're building upon the trust. And if they're fun to interact with, you're deciding you like them.
They also,
And so
for me,
that's what
have to
makes
have a bit
somebody
of,
more
they
credible.
have to be confident, because when somebody displays weakness to me, I can't respect them.
And and by the way, that's when you're doing that, that means you are aware of who you are, you're successful. And one of the, by the way, there are 10 values of credibility.
Hmm.
One of the values that people often, a car dealer, one of the things that let me step back for a second before I make this statement. In today's world with the internet and with GPT and with Bard and AI, someone who's walking into a dealer could know significantly more than any one of the reps,
Hmm.
right? So let's say they said something that was just really powerful. How does the rep respond? Are they coachable or not coachable?
Right.
Right? So if they're coachable, because you have to be coachable to be credible. If they act like they know it all, sort of, well, this is the way it's always been done, so this is what we do now, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's anyhow. That's the thing that is interesting is you also need to be coachable, which
Hmm.
means that you won't know it all.
Right. Oh, that's the worst. Know-it-alls.
Oh my God.
So, in your view, has the concept of credibility evolved in today's digital and interconnected world?
Significantly, but it hasn't caught up to the research that I unraveled,
Hmm.
right? So if you look in the dictionary, the the concept of credibility was very much the dictionary today says it's the quality of being trusted.
Hmm.
Okay. Now in the past, that was because a company with this was this nameless, faceless thing. And so do you just trust the company? But what's interesting today is if you had a choice of 2 or 3 people to work with and you trust that they'll all do a good job, if you could in minutes get to know all of them, you're gonna go with the one that you like. So that trust, know, like factor, so it's changed significantly, particularly with the fact with GPT, thought leadership has become ubiquitous.
Hmm.
Anyone who wants to be a thought leader, all they have to do is learn how to put the right prompt in place. So if anyone's a thought leader, right, you still have to trust. And as you get to know them, is that really their information? And do you really like working with them? So the concept of credibility has changed because everyone and their mother has a cell phone. They have a camera, they have a microphone. And you can't get away with I'll step back for a second. In the 10 values of credibility, integrity is the only value that's there twice. So one piece of integrity is from under being trusted is how do you show your integrity to the world? And we've always seen the politicians who show their integrity in one way, or the leader who says something in a particular way. But under getting known, as you get to know somebody, what is their internal integrity? Do you see them cheating on their spouse?
Hmm.
That's the worst. Do you see them cheating on their diets? Do you see them cheating on their taxes? Whatever it is, if you're seeing a disconnect between external and internal integrity, and because everyone has a camera and a microphone and it's very easy to see other people these days,
Hmm.
it's easier to see where people are not acting in alignment. And that really hurts a lot of people without them knowing it.
So it's the old talk the talk and walk the walk.
Hmm.
There we go.
So
Thank you.
how would you counsel someone if they trusted someone and that person did something to harm their credibility? How would that person who has come back from that situation?
Would you mind could you give a very like I like generic questions, but how about we give an example?
Okay, so I work with this woman, right? She has terrible management skills, and through her bad management and either lack of feedback or unclear feedback caused me to F something up that then reflected poorly on me to my clients.
Mm.
So how do I come back from that? Or do I?
Ooh, this
Because
is
I don't want to throw her under the bus because she's their coworker. Because then that also makes me look like a shithead. Bless you.
Thank you.
bless you.
Thank you.
That's an interesting. So when you say come back in whose mind?
How do I reestablish trust with the clients who thought I effed up, but it was actually their coworker, and her poor management style and poor communication skills that caused me to misunderstand her and do something they didn't want me to do.
Now, is it a coworker of yours or a boss?
It's a client.
Oh, it's a client that actually made a mistake.
So she
Oh,
effed
that's
up,
tricky.
and then
Oh, yeah.
her coworkers are annoyed with me because she gave me
Oh.
unclear direction, but I don't want to throw her under the bus to her coworkers per se.
And it's a client.
And they're all my clients, but I look like an idiot because of how she mismanaged me.
Mm,
That's a tough one.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's really difficult. So
Okay,
part
I'll
of
just
it,
quit.
Do it.
well, not necessarily. There is a number of tactics and ideas that are going through my head. It's hard to give one
Right.
because I need to know, or I don't know the proper path. One of the things that often, let me do it a little bit. Thank you for sharing because it got me in a direction of an answer.
Okay.
Right. One of the things that often hurts trust in today's world is not knowing, right? If I had people who work with, I say with me, but I have people who work for me, but we'll just say with me, and they could be doing a whole lot of work, but if they don't report that and communicate it and they don't see it, my assumption is, well, maybe they didn't do it,
Correct.
right?
Hmm.
So one of the things I might encourage going forward is always think about the end goal in mind and what you need to accomplish, and then document what is, write down, here are the milestones we need to get to, and start communicating that at the beginning.
Yep. Yeah. I mean,
And
what
then,
you're saying is refine the process, which, yes, I think I that's what I have tried to do. And, to your earlier point, it takes time.
it takes time. And so what you can do at the moment, you could decide yes or no to have a very blunt conversation with the person you're working with.
Oh, I have.
Did you
Uh,
ask her to own up?
No, because, I don't think she doesn't ever take responsibility or ownership.
Oh, wow.
Just from our conversation 101.
Mhm.
And I just have been trying to, refine the process to make it goof proof moving forward.
Okay.
I love
Goof
that.
proof.
Okay, so here we go. Now you've given me and thank you. So if she is not going to own up and it's not your job, right? Then what should happen is you shouldn't be the one that says, "Hey, you need to change." Right? Because you can't win. Right? If
Right.
she doesn't come to you, then that's not going to happen. So what you can do is you can go to her and take ownership and say, "Hey, listen, I'm really sorry. I didn't put the right process in place for this to work. It doesn't matter that it's not your fault. I'm sorry. I didn't put the right process in place for this to work. I'd like to update my process going forward so that we can get all of our stakeholders involved and that they can actually see the steps along the way. Do you mind if I take ownership for that?"
Hmm. I like it. That's great.
And then what happens is when you create more visibility, it'll be harder for her to go in and F up.
Hmm. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it very much. Thank you.
that's good advice.
It is good advice.
Oh,
So,
you're welcome.
can you
No, by the
share?
way, I'm going to cut off for a second. It will take you doing that one or two times because you've unfortunately negatively affected the others
Yes.
before the other people go, "Oh, wait, she really is good at that."
Yep. Yep.
And you don't need to throw anyone under the bus. You just need to, because by the way, they already know, but
It's
um,
not productive, honestly.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then I think it would just reflect poorly on me, and I'm already, at a disadvantage. So
yeah,
we got to keep it moving.
I agree. So, can you share some specific strategies or practices that have helped you or your clients to significantly enhance their professional credibility?
Mm. Well, we just did one, by
Yep.
the way.
Yep.
Mhm.
And by the way, I loved the questions, that the time you guys spent to research me ahead of time,
Of course.
and to come up with a series of questions was really powerful.
Thank you.
And so here's what I'm going to say: the easiest way to show up credibly: come early, come prepared, come with your heart.
Mm.
Right?
And your
Three
brain.
things. You definitely need to come with your brain. And the thing is, as people get to know you, they need to see that you're a caring person who wants to be of service to them,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
right? So
Yep.
they have to trust that you have their best interest at heart, which ultimately, we do things because they serve us in some way or another. But when you have a client, you have to be focused on solving the client's problem or bringing them to a level of expertise, of excitement, of some pleasure point that you
Mm-hmm.
could bring them to, and they have to recognize that you really do have their best interests at heart. And as they get to know you, they still recognize you have their best interests at heart and they like you. So what do? You need to show them respect. How
Right.
do you show somebody respect? Come early, come prepared, come with your heart.
Do you think that people have to be on 1,000,001 social media platforms with their personal brands and bragging about everything that they do, not, in a professional sense? I personally hate social media and I prefer to be behind the scenes. How does one get over, is it essential?
So by the way, um, sorry to say this, hate's a bad word.
I know.
So
It's facts, though.
so what we can do is we might be able to have a little bit of conversation where we take the "I hate because"
Mm-hmm.
and turn it into, "Oh, I see why I'm doing it, and it's okay." Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have to be on every social media platform? Um, I am, but I don't spend time on them, so the answer is no. Okay.
Do you pay somebody to do it for you?
I actually do have people on my team to do some things, except are you ready? The primary platform that I spend time on, I've paid somebody to do the block and tackle stuff, but I still am actively involved because if my prospects are coming in the door and they're speaking in a particular way, they need to hear my voice. Now, it's possible my voice can be replaced with AI and a bot that is a Mitchell bot moving forward, but I'm going to put that aside. So, what happens, think about if you are credible of who you are, when people talk to you, they feel your energy, they really like you, they want to work with you. Okay. But there's only a certain amount of people you can actually see in person.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is when they go to see you online, they're going to go to whatever platform is their platform of choice. And they just want to see that you reinforce who you are when you're in person online.
Ah,
Right.
Makes
So what do
sense.
you what do you do? If you have clarity about who you are and how you show up and you represent that very similarly across platforms and you also have a little bit of social proof. Social proof is when you have your clients saying good things about you and you've incorporated them on your platforms. When people are going there, they can then immediately get to trust, know, and like you, particularly when your clients are saying good things about you,
Mm-hmm.
enough so that they get you to a phone call, right? Or get you to a Zoom call or get you in person.
okay, that makes sense.
So we're going to take a quick break. After the break, though, I want to talk about clarity, which we talked about briefly before we got on air. So stay with us, everybody. Welcome back to Crazy Rich Neighbors. Now let's go through the clarity discussion. What exactly is it, and why is it beneficial to us to clarify who we are and what we do?
One of the things that so I went on this Napoleon Hill journey. I interviewed 500 thought leaders between 2019 and 2020, and I unlocked a ton of secrets. And there are 10 values of credibility. You could see, you could see that in the book Credibility Nation. I've got a TEDx that you talked about they're in there as well. But the most important secret is one that I was right at my fingertips, but I didn't make it number one till about 6 months ago. The most important secret is clarity. I truly believe it's the missing element in leadership today. And clarity is the simplicity of articulating, I'm going to say, the playground you play in less than 10 words.
Ooh, that's not a lot. How do we pick our 10 words? I mean, there's pressure.
Yes.
Well, there's a formula,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So I'll give you the formula.
Okay.
Oh,
So the first statement is who? Who do you serve? Now, and I'll do mine. I've got three. By the way, the concept, I call this clarity the CPOP, your customer point of possibilities. Right. And so for me, although I work with coaches, consultants, and small businesses for this one program I'm focused on, I have got 5 or 6 different things going on. But for this program, I focus on coaches, consultants, and small businesses. That said, the primary audience is coaches. So my who is coaches.
oh,
Okay. So now the second thing, so step one is who. And by the way, it's really hard for me to, because as an executive coach, I'm typically working with companies between 5 and 10 million.
Ooh.
And what I'm doing, so it's CEOs
Mhm.
flying like eagles. So for my executive coaching business, my CPOP is CEOs flying like eagles. 4 words.
Hmm.
But for what I'm doing with the coaches, what I found is it's a little bit of a pain point and a pleasure point. So what comes next is who, and either what is the primary thing that they recognize as their pain point, or what is the pleasure point? Where do they want to reach? So it's a little bit more of a pain point for that. So that one happens to be 8 words. Coaches who've created a job, not a business.
Hmm.
Now, here's what's really important. If you're at a cocktail party or if you're talking to somebody and you've looked them in the eyes and they say, "Who are you? What do you do?" Or you sort of need to get to the point where you say your CPOP. And by the way, as I said that, you probably said to yourself, "Wait, I know some coaches or consultants that are good at what they do, but they're not really making the money they need to make." Right? The most natural inclination as a potential referral partner is tell me more. Same thing if you were a prospect, tell me more. So really, when you say this concept, this CPOP, there are 3 potential people listening: potential referral partner, potential customer. They don't care,
Mhm.
right? If they
Yeah.
don't care, it doesn't mean they don't care about you. It just means they don't care about this playground you play in.
Right.
Mhm.
Yep.
But if you have friends who are coaches or consultants and you go, Mitchell, they're really good at what they do, but they're not making they're treating it more like a job. They just don't have enough partners in place. You're like, the most natural thing you're going to say is tell me more. I'll tell you what, I'll do the tell me more, and then we'll come back, and if you want, we could work on one of you guys. Um, the tell me more is typically there's so many coaches in the world. In the US, the ICF, the International Coaching Federation, has identified over 100,000 executive coaches alone.
Oh my
Their
gosh.
average,
Whoa.
I know it's crazy, right? And their average salary is $55,000,
Oh,
right?
wah,
Not
wah.
not a lot of money.
No.
What happens is a lot of the coaches are certified to deliver a good product. But what they've not been taught is how to run a business.
Right.
How do you
True.
do lead generation? How do you nurture? How do you close?
Yep.
Mhm.
So I've created a program. It's a done with you program that not only does the coach get clarity, but they're given a business development system and then taught how to give clarity to their clients. So
Cool.
it's a lot of fun, right? So, but what did I do? In about a minute, I not only told you the playground, but I told you how I play in that playground.
Mhm. Yep.
So how did I give myself direct clarity? I was able to communicate, in this case, in 8 words, the playground I play in. And when you say, tell me more, if I could communicate in a minute what I do in the playground, I've got an enhanced level of credibility. You're like, wait a second, I like what Mitchell said. Let me recommend him, or let me check it out myself.
It's your elevator pitch.
Yep.
It is without actually one of the biggest problems with the elevator pitch. By the way, the CPOP comes before the elevator pitch, the value prop, all of those things. What happens with the elevator pitch is it typically starts with I serve, we do, I am. The elevator pitch is about you. Well, if somebody doesn't know you, they don't trust you yet, and
True.
they don't know you yet.
Yep.
As soon as you say I do, we serve, whatever it is, the hair in the back of their neck stands up because they're curious, they're cautious about you wanting to sell them something.
Yep.
During a CPOP is just the playground you play.
Okay, I like that. That makes total sense. So, Mitchell, what advice would you give to somebody to quickly gain credibility when starting out in a new field or establish credibility?
2 questions there, so I'll do both. If it's in a new field, become familiar with who you are and what you do. Make sure you show up online and offline similarly. I probably would say grab your CPOP, find a CPOP. We've got courses, and I do something once a month. I actually have a 90-minute live session where everyone in the room gets their CPOP.
Oh,
And so get your CPOP, and then as you're speaking in person and online, that you're consistently delivering that. Now, if you're new in the business, you've never done it before, work for 2 clients for free,
Mm-hmm.
except it's not really free. It could be small amount of money, whatever, but the real cost is if they like what you've delivered, have them give you a video testimonial.
oh, okay.
Right? Make sure that what's on your website, how you show up asynchronously when you're not in a room, reinforces that you care about that person. You do a great job. Now, once you're established in business, every now and then look back and say to yourself, am I doing the right things by the clients? A lot of times when people get really busy and very successful, they end up showing a couple of minutes late to meetings.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I know that doesn't sound good, but that's showing them disrespect.
Right.
You're actually telling your clients that your time is more important to theirs and it's okay for you to show up late. You keep doing that, at some point in time, someone will come in who's always early. Imagine you've been to meetings where people haven't done their research ahead of time.
Oh my God, I was on a Zoom call yesterday. Drove me crazy.
Waste of
Yeah,
time.
it's
Of
And then I
everybody's
had to
time.
be mean and point out how they weren't prepared.
Uh-oh.
And now we have to have a follow-up next week. And is that going to be comfortable? No, it's not.
Oh, and then you have another meeting on your schedule that you
Correct.
didn't need to have.
That's right.
ugh. By the way, and that is the opposite of what you want.
Correct.
How much time by the way, typically only takes 5 or 10 minutes to get prepared.
And to your earlier point, they had so much credibility up until the point where they didn't prepare for the specific attribute I was looking for, which they were told to prepare for. So then
That's even worse. You told them
Wow.
to prepare and they ignored you.
I
So
told their colleague. So it's I told their colleague, and even though they said, "Oh yes, sure, she passed that along," then there was no content specific to that particular area.
Not good.
and so the opposite to answer your to answer your question, it's the opposite of what happened with Tiffany, right? I know I'm going to say this. It sounds really familiar. Come early. So I was sitting on for us here, I was sitting on 10 minutes early. I was sitting apparently on the wrong Zoom line,
Our
but
fault.
came early. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is not a blame. It just, I want to make sure that I show you the respect. So come early. Make sure that you're prepared. So I watched a couple episodes to get a feeling for your style, right? And make sure that when you're listening to me respond, it's something I really care about, that it's coming from my heart. So that you're like, wait a second, he really did care. He really did focus. He really does want to be of value.
Mm-hmm. And we appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And likewise, we showed you the respect by preparing for you today, which you acknowledged earlier. And and
Oh my God,
that's
it was super cool I'm like,
aw.
I didn't expect it.
Well, that's how we roll.
Yes, we're
Well,
professional now, okay?
Yeah.
You are professionals. However, how you show up is like this fun-loving, bantering thing. And And I didn't expect the list of questions that were so thoughtful. So thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah, we ain't stupid. Sometimes we act silly. Oh, but thank you.
We're all style and substance, honey.
Yes, yes.
Do you
Yeah.
find yourself giving a recurring piece of advice to emerging leaders in your role with Marshall Goldsmith's 100 coaches? Is there sort of something thematically that often comes up?
You know, it's interesting. I'm going to say something and tell me what it means because by the way, I did tell my wife what because the name of your show is so cool and you guys are so quirky. Um, I I shared this question, gave her a response, and she goes, "Yeah, I don't know if they'll get it." And not because we didn't get it, because she didn't get it herself. I'm like, "Yeah, interesting, right?" So, um, what I find what's in the world is we've gone out of our way to make things difficult.
Oh, yeah.
And it just like, by the way, with each of you, we could do it offline. We could do another episode if you want, where we could actually grab your CPOPs live.
Oh,
Ooh,
that's
right?
cool.
that will be fun.
Yes, please.
Oh, the simplicity, by the way, of being able to articulate who you are in 4 or 5 words or me in 8 words, like it becomes this compass moving forward. And you might say to yourself, well, what that's not the way I was taught. Because we were taught to make things difficult.
Yep.
So what I'm going to say, what I keep hearing is a lot of times when I'm hearing somebody speak, when I'm doing that coaching one-on-one, what I'm trying to determine is if what they're saying is what they feel or what they were told to feel,
Wow.
Hmm.
right?
That's
Because
good.
Food for thought.
there's a lot of marketing cookie cutter stuff that we're taught.
Yep.
Let me give you, you must know somebody very successful, making a lot of money. And instead of sitting back and going, man, I'm doing good, I'm happy,
Yep.
they want more.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, why? I
Yep.
mean, the answer is, well, if you're happy, why don't you just sort of it's okay to be happy if you've been successful and you're doing your stuff. Just because the world says you have to make more doesn't mean you have to make more.
It's that, and it's their wounded inner child, and it's, somebody in their life made them feel like they were never good enough, or they grew up with scarcity and they're worried of going back to, lacking.
Or sometimes people love to be busy.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Classic overachievers.
Yep.
Oh, and that was just an example, and it doesn't mean you don't do it, but maybe you could do it for different reasons.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Still acknowledge you're happy today and
Well,
right, hey, I'm going to make more, but I'm going to give that to a nonprofit.
it's
Right?
sort of like, how do you know when you've arrived? I think that means different things for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Very, very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So what's your take on innovation and adapting to change?
By the way, here's another one that my wife said. So you got to tell me what you think. She goes, "Yeah, Mitchell, I don't get it." I'm like, "All right." So there's a classic thing we do in Silicon Valley. I've been in Silicon Valley for 33 years. There's a classic thing we do. All right, this is what most entrepreneurs, this is what most businesses do. This is what you're taught in business school. Ready, aim, fire. Silicon Valley is different. Silicon Valley is ready, fire, aim.
Correct. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you want to be innovative. You have to know who you serve. You need to know the pain point or pleasure point they need to reach, and you need to have real live customers that you experiment on, not the evil scientific experiments, but you experiment on and you get feedback and you adjust.
Yeah.
And that iterative process
Mm-hmm.
is what will bring you to a point. And now here's the good news, bad news, that will work for a period of time.
Right.
But then life will change and you need to continue to adjust.
It's so true. It's always iterating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're almost out of time. So our final question or two: what is next for you, Mitchell?
Mm. In doing the research, my bigger goal was to tip the scale between those in the world that are credible and those that are dubious. Dubious is the opposite of credible.
Right.
The problem with that is most humans think they're already credible.
Isn't that the truth?
So the current next is what I'm doing now. I was able to successfully move from alpha to beta because I'm iterating. And that is I've created this clarity specialist program where I'm taking the coaches that I'm working with. And by the way, I have 2 consultants and now I have 1 small business.
Wow.
And I'm taking these guys and I'm saying, "Hey, listen, th- let's figure out who you are, how you show up. Let's figure out your playground. And now that you have your playground, let's give you a steady stream of prospects to talk to. And by the way, don't think of them as people you're going to sell. Think of them as referral partners. Maybe they'll decide to buy from you. And let's walk through the exercise. So it's a done with you program that basically allows them to create a business versus having a job.
That's
So
cool.
what's next for me is currently starting my beta program. After I do that, I'm hoping to start on a very continuous basis, a new set of cohorts. And what I want to do is put this into a mode where I could extract Mitchell from that so I could
Mm-hmm.
focus on another vertical.
Mm.
Awesome.
Well, good luck with that.
Absolutely. So,
Oh, it's a lot of fun, by the way. When you change somebody's life by giving them what they love doing, but allowing them to recognize that this is something they're going to do the rest of their life, or at least the next couple of years, and they're making good money at it. Inside here, oh man, that feels so good.
Oh, that's awesome.
we can tell you love what you do, and your
Yes.
energy is infectious.
Absolutely.
So we'll contact you offline about our part 2 when we do our CPOPs
yeah.
on a
Cool.
show. So
That's going to be fun.
it will be. I mean, today's been fun.
Yes.
Any social
Okay.
media or anything you would like to plug before we have to sign off?
The best thing what I've done is and I've heard one of your actually 2 of your guests give a litany of 6 different sites to go to. Go
I
to
know who that is.
Yes, Queen.
and it's not that it's bad, it's just that by the time we get to the 3rd one, we've forgotten the first one,
And
right?
let's not forget the whole resume, which was the first half of the show.
Oh, well, yeah. So I'm just going to give my website. So
Smart.
MitchellLevy.com. So 3 L's in a row, MitchellLevy.com. That will direct you to if any of this is of interest to you. You want to come to one of the next clarity sessions. You want to be a clarity specialist, or you're like, Mitchell, I don't know, I need to get on your calendar. Go to MitchellLevy.com and you can follow through on what's next for you.
That's terrific. Thank you so much, Mitchell. This was awesome.
You're welcome. Thank you both. This was fun. Appreciate it.
Lord have mercy. Well, my Bougie Bible pick this week is Oh Yum Supernatural Coffee Alternative. It tastes like hot chocolate, you guys. It's keto, it's gluten-free, sugar-free, soy-free, and non-GMO. It's an all-organic superfood superstar made of cacao, lion's mane mushroom, reishi, cordyceps, chaga, maca, ashwagandha, turmeric, and more. So you just take 1 little scoop, mix with 8 ounces of hot water. You can stir it or froth it. You can use any type of milk if you want. That's optional, not required. It boosts your brain, your mood, your energy with no crash, and your satisfaction is guaranteed. So check them out on Amazon. Again, it's Oh Yum.
Oh, and my Bougie Bible pick this week is True Skin Naturals Vitamin C Super Serum. I love this brand, True Skin. They're super affordable. This is a perfect anti-aging, anti-wrinkle facial serum with retinol, hyaluronic acid. It has 4.5-star ratings, over 12,000 on Amazon. I highly recommend it. You just put a few drops on after you've cleansed your skin, and you can put on your moisturizer, and then you can put on your makeup afterwards, and your face is getting just a conditioning and a rejuvenation under your makeup. And you can find this product on my Amazon store if you search Mia Faroche Amazon store, and all of this and all of my favorites can be found there. And it's just $17.99.
Awesome
Check it out.
sauce. And I know we got to go, but real quick, I'm now on Poshmark too. I've made my first sale today.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you, Mia Faroche. My
Yay.
closet can be found at TMCD777. That's TMCD777. Check out my stuff, y'all.
Awesome. So you guys, that's all we got. So follow us on your favorite podcast platform to never miss an episode.
Follow us on the gram at Crazy Rich Neighbors and or Facebook at CRN Podcast.
Email us at info@crazyrichneighbors.com.
And remember, if you have to ask who your crazy neighbor is, it's
Probably you. Bye, Bougie Crew.
Be good.
We love you.